Hello world. I've got something to talk to you about today. This is going to be my truth about me video, or my, I don't know, coming out video, I guess. Not really, but yeah. I have a nervous twitch. I don't know whether it's a nervous twitch, or it's tics, or it's Tourette's. I'm not really sure. But yes, I have a nervous twitch. And I think it's about time I came out and said it. I'm 21 years old, I've had it since I was about 4, and yeah, I've basically kept it quiet my entire life. I've told 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in my life, not including the doctor that I went to go and talk to about it. Yeah, so, and out of those 6 people, I'm in contact with 4 of them. So yeah, so this is me telling everyone. I have notes here because I knew I was gonna get confused. Yeah, I thought I'd just make a video because I think it's about time that people start to not think about this as such a negative thing. Like, it's not something to be ashamed of. And I think in a world that we're living in today, where, you know, all these different things are becoming more socially acceptable in society, I think it's damn well time for this to be a bit more socially acceptable as well. So I'm not going to talk about what tics I have, because for those of you who know me, I'm pretty sure you're very aware of which ones I have. So yeah, I don't think it would benefit this video for me to tell you all what I have. So yeah, so I had it since I was 4. It impacts me on a day-to-day life. Like, if you think about, if any of you have got any hobbies, so, you know, you guys may be into dance or drama or, I don't know, fishing, rock climbing, kayaking, whatever, you have a hobby. If you think about how long you have worked on that hobby, how long you've perfected that hobby, how long you have, you know, researched that hobby and wanted to make yourself better at that hobby. If you think about how long you've thought about and you've done that, I've done the same with my tics. Again, I've had it for, what, 17 years, maybe 18 years now. And every single day I have had to research and personally research how to make it better. How to not let it impact my life so much. And it's almost like having a pastime, really. You have to work at it to make yourself better at it, just like any sort of thing that, you know, you have in your life. I don't enjoy it. It's not a hobby to me. I'm wanting to make that strictly clear. It's not a hobby to me. But you have to work on it, and I've done work on it, and I've perfected how to deal with it. Well, not perfected, but, you know, I've worked on how to deal with it, how I personally deal with it for 17 years now. So if I need to suppress it for any reason, like, I don't know, I have a job interview, or I'm with a small group of people, or I'm meeting new people for the first time, I can rely on those 17 years of suppressing it to help me. So then people don't immediately judge me, or say things, or give me a look, or laugh at me, or do whatever people have done all the time in the past. As I said, it affects me on a daily basis. I don't think I've had one day for as long as I remember that I haven't clocked someone either look at me, snigger, like, you know, nudge their friend and go like, oh, look, that person. I've had people take photos of me before in the past. And then the worst ones are when people come up to me and mention it, say, why am I doing it, say it's annoying. Or the worst thing that people can do is imitate it. Imitating it. If ever you meet someone that has this problem, please, I'm asking you now, don't imitate them. Really, it doesn't help at all. It makes us feel awful. I'm trying to keep this video PG, so I'm not going to swear. However, it makes us feel like that. Yeah. With tics or nervous twitch, it can be made better and it can be made worse depending on what social situation I'm in. So, you know, for the people that know me, I think the general consensus is that I'm quite gobby, I'm quite loud, I'm quite bubbly, I'm very annoying. I love being annoying though, it's like my favourite pastime, just annoying the hell out of everyone. But yeah, I think a lot of people don't realise that social situations are really, really hard for me. Going into places like libraries are like, no, I hate libraries. Like, the lighting, for one, the lighting in libraries is absolutely terrible. I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but I don't know how we're meant to do work as a human being with like bright fluorescent white lights blaring down at us all the time. It's not constructive to work, and it's definitely not constructive to me. Bright lights, flashing lights, just very quiet situations, like if I'm with a small group of people in a very quiet situation like classrooms. For those of you who don't know me, I've done a degree. I have an undergraduate degree and I'm doing my master's degree at the minute. I've sat through a lot of lectures that have been very, very quiet, and all attention is towards the front, obviously, of the classroom, and I barely ever sit at the back because I like to be engaged with the teacher. I like to be at the front of a classroom. But again, that is a risk to take, because then there's people at the back of me who will then see me twitch. That's just the day-to-day thing that I have to deal with. I'm not going to change that. I'm not going to go and cower in the back of a classroom to save myself from people noticing, because everyone notices now. Like, everyone knows that I do it. Despite what I try and tell myself that no one notices, they do. I think I've just got to be realistic with myself now. So libraries are a horrible place for me personally. I don't know if it's the same for everyone who has nervous twitches or tics or whatever, but libraries I hate. What else do I hate? I'm just reading. Bright flashing lights. Laptops. So my course at the minute, a lot of it is online, and I absolutely hate staring at a laptop. Absolutely hate it. If I didn't have a laptop in my life, I would be so much happier. However, I have to have a laptop. It's a very pretty laptop. I made it pretty because I was like, right, if I have to have this demonoid, horrible gadget in my life, I'm going to make it as dumb as possible. I still hate being on it most of the time. The screen is very, very bright, and then I turn the screen down and I can barely see it. For those of you who know me, you know that I wear contacts. I do have glasses, but I barely ever wear them because, one, it makes my tics worse. I don't think anyone knows that, but yeah, my glasses make my tics worse. I'm just very used to wearing contacts now. It gives me more freedom. It calms down my tics. And also it helps, obviously it helps me see, but I like to wear contacts when I'm on my laptop because it helps me to look at the screen without twitching so much, because the screen is really bright. If I turn down the screen, like the brightness on the screen, it makes it very difficult for me to see, and I have to blink more. For those of you who know me, blinking is one of my tics. I have to blink more to try and focus on what I'm reading. Another thing, so my eyes are my main area for twitching, and I have astigmatism in both of my eyes. Whenever I go to the opticians, I have to go multiple times a year, and my prescription always gets worse every single time I go. I think I've got about the same vision as my dad at the minute, who's 60, so I have the vision of a 60-year-old man, which is brilliant at 21 years of age. So I've got astigmatism in both my eyes, and I've never talked to anyone about this, but you can get it. I've done some research. It can be made worse by pressure on your eyes. So squinting can make it worse. And when I was reading that, I must have read that probably about a year and a half ago or something, and I've kept it in my brain ever since that I don't know whether the whether my tics made my astigmatism worse, which I think it has, and I think it continues to do, or if my tics gave me astigmatism in the first place. I'm not a medical professional, I don't know about this, so I don't know. I might ask my optician, my optician one day, if that is true, when I get the balls to talk to my optician about it, because right now I don't have the balls to talk to anyone about it, which is why I'm making this video. Sorry, this video is all over the shop. So yeah, flashing lights, laptops, hairstyles. Hairstyles are another thing that can make my Tourette's worse or my tics worse. I don't know. I don't like to use them interchangeably because I haven't been diagnosed properly, although I'm pretty sure it's evident to everyone that I do. Hopefully after this video I'll have the confidence to go and get checked out. A little bit of a segue actually whilst I'm on that topic. I did go to the doctors once about it. I must have been probably about 16, 17-ish. And I remember I hadn't told anyone at that point. I hadn't told my parents about that point. So I dealt with it for probably about 7... hang on, my maths isn't great. 7 and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13... about 13 years-ish, probably. And I thought it was about time to tell my mum and my dad. And that was a terrifying thing, because all my family knows. They know, they don't, I have never told them, but they know. Anyone with a brain can work it out. And I wanted to tell them, and I couldn't tell them face to face. I wrote my mother I think it was about 3-page letter talking about it, and she was in her bedroom, and I crawled up to her door when it was shut, and I slid it under the door. I slid this note under the door and ran back into my bedroom and said, "Mum, there's a note under your door, can you give it a read?" That is how I told my parents that I had tics. And they were great about it actually. They sat me down on the sofa and we talked about it, and then I think it was the day after or the day after that, something like that, I went to the doctors. And I thought, great, okay, I'm going to go to the doctors and it's all going to be fine. I'm going to get a diagnosis, I'm going to get help with it. You can get medical help with it, you can get some sort of pills and stuff like that. It's a bit of a new kind of area of medicine, but you can get stuff to help you with the sort of the physical side of it. And you can also get stuff like counselling and meditational things to help with it as well. So we went to the doctors and, So we went in and I had a woman doctor, and I told her just about, I think I choked it out. I think I was holding my mum's hand with a death grip because I was so terrified about telling her. And she kind of looked at me and she asked me a few questions, and I was sat in this doctor's chair, and basically I suppressed it down. Of course, I wasn't going to... I've spent all my life trying to suppress it and not actively showing people that I have it. So I sat in this doctor's chair and was answering all her questions. And then at the end of it, she goes, "I don't think you have it. I don't think you have it at all, because I haven't seen you do it." And I was a bit stunned, and I went, "Oh, okay." And for some reason, I just took it as her word for it. I just took it as, oh, she's a doctor, she knows more than me, done, I don't have it. We said goodbye and we walked out. And I remember I got home and I think I must have cried the entire day. the entire day. And I remember telling my mum, I was like, what in the world just happened? Because I was so distraught about it. I'd worked up, 11, 12 years of my life to go and talk to someone about it, and for someone to just turn around and go, "You don't have it," kind of reversed everything I'd been working up to throughout that point, from when I was 4 to when I was 17 or whatever, so that big time span. And I remember thinking, when I was saying about the hobbies earlier, if you've spent 15, 16, 17 years of your life perfecting something or learning to be better at it, like I have with my tics, you get very good at doing it. I don't know if anyone's noticed that. If you learn, I don't know, if you learn if you love dance and you learn it for 17 years, you tend to be quite good at it. If you've learnt it every single day for 17 years and you've practiced it every single day for 17 years, I've practiced dealing with my tics and my nervous twitch and everything else I do for 17 years. So I'm pretty good at suppressing it when I need to, especially when I'm in a doctor's chair, when someone I have never met before is asking me loads of personal questions about something that is my biggest insecurity in the world. And I thought to my mum, and my mum agreed with me, and we were like, how can, you know, it's the 21st century, how can a doctor turn around and say that to you just based on the fact that you haven't done it in front of them? You haven't actively sat in that chair and, you know, I don't know, done what stereotypical people with tics do, you know, swear or, you know, jerk uncontrollably or whatever. Like, I'm not going to do that, am I? I'm not going to be that open with someone that I've barely met. I try not to actively twitch in front of my family, let alone someone that I don't know. So yeah, after that disastrous trip, that was it. That I was terrified to ever think about it again. I was terrified to ever do anything. I was like, the whole world is against me. No one has this difficulty. I'm the only person in the world. I'm very, very alone. And I felt that up until this summer, probably, actually, yeah. There was times throughout my undergrad degree that I wanted to tell people. No one, I didn't tell, obviously I did my undergrad degree for 3 years, and no one in my old university knows. Absolutely no one. I never told anyone. I wanted to, and I was very close to telling people at one point, but I never quite felt comfortable and brave enough to tell people. When it got to my master's degree, it changed a bit. I remember we did a summer school, and the group of people on my master's degree are the best group of people I think I've ever met in my life. They're so friendly, just amazing people, and I was very close to telling them on like the first couple of days, because I thought to myself, you know, I've worked through this to get myself a degree. I'm stronger than this makes me out to be, and I want to tell. Sorry, I'm just putting my hair up. I'm stronger than this makes me out to be, and I want to tell people. I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to hide it from people anymore. I want it to be me. I want them to know me for me and not me for, oh, you know, Dom's fun, but actually she's got this thing and I don't really know what it is about her, and I'm too afraid to ask. That's it. That's why I don't like people being too afraid to ask me something, which is why I'm making this video. And I didn't end up telling them about it, but I wish I had. So, you know, it's a month or two overdue, but yeah. So I'm telling everyone now. I think the purpose of this video is to try and spread awareness, spread some positive messages about this, because I don't know if you've noticed, but society seems to be a bit of a bitch about tics and nervous twitches and Tourette's and stuff. You can just Google, you can Google it, you can search it on Facebook. If you just type in the word Tourette's or tics, you'll see a load of videos about some people, some ignorant people that have posted up videos of making fun of these people that have a nervous twitch. And those videos those videos are possibly the worst thing that I have seen. I don't know, there's a lot of stupid shit going on in the world today. On a personal level, those videos are one of the hardest videos that I watch. I always used to try and hide away from them. I never wanted to see these kind of videos, but occasionally they pop up. They'll pop up in news. They'll pop up in the news stories. They'll pop up on your Facebook, like, you know, where you get the stories of the day, that kind of thing. And then, like, you know, you might just be scrolling through YouTube and you'll see, like, on these funny, like, Vine videos, or you'll see funny videos, and there'll be someone in there that has a Twitch or Tourette's or something, and it's so bad because in my day-to-day life, I try not to think about it. It's impossibly difficult to try not to think about it. I think about it every single day. The first thing I think about for the last 17 years has been, how bad am I going to Twitch today? And that's a horrible thing to think. the first thing you think about in the morning. But yes, and to see people take the piss out of people like that is horrifying, and it's horrible, and it shouldn't happen. And society is horrible sometimes. I could go on for a rant and a half for like a day about what I don't like about our slightly messed up society, but that's a different video for a different day. For anyone who knows me knows that I rant about that too much anyway. Yeah, so I just wanted to come on here and say that it's, despite what people think, it's more than just swearing. Tics, nervous twitches are more than just swearing. They're more than just, you know, twitching. We're people. We are people too, I think, is what I'm trying to get out of this. We are people, and we're just the same as anyone else. We have hobbies, we have likes, we have dislikes, we have things we love, we have things we hate, you know, like, our Twitch does not define who we are. It makes it really difficult to meet new people and realise your worth. It makes it incredibly difficult to think that you're ever going to do anything with your life. I know personally for me, I've turned down multiple like small jobs and stuff because I've thought, no, I can't do this, it's too much of a social situation. I used to work, I'm not going to say where, but I used to work in retail, and every single day it was such a struggle. Like an 8-hour shift to most people would be a bit, you know, bad normally. For someone that's got a nervous twitch and you work in retail and you work in a busy store, it's the hardest thing in the world to have to be in an area where you have lots of people all the time around you, and you have to act normal. You have to act normal around them. You have to try and suppress it, and the minute you don't, and the minute someone notices you have it, it makes it worse. It so makes it worse. Like the minute I notice people noticing that I do it more. It's really counterintuitive, but I do it more because I'm more aware of it. The more people point it out, the more people, you know, give me a funny look, ask me if I'm okay, or, you know, whatever else people have done in the past. The more people do that, the worse it makes me. Which is hard because it's like having something. It's like having something wrong with you that you can't control, and it feels like you're not. It feels that it's not your issue. It feels like it's other people's issue because other people have control of how much you do it. If I had control of how much I'd do it, then I wouldn't do it. It's as simple as that, you know. Like, I think that's probably across the board. Like, if we had control of whether we did it or not, we'd obviously not do it. Because it would make my life a hell of a lot easier. But I don't. Other people, in my eyes, have control of how much I do it because, you know, when I'm with my family, not my whole family, but, you know, when I'm with my mum and dad, they don't mention it. I do it, and it's normal. Like, we don't mention it. It's not because we're scared to talk about it. We talk about it, but we call it the tea. And from when I came out to them a couple of years ago, it's been so easy to talk to them about it, and without talking about them to her, I honestly don't even know if I'd be here today. I really don't. Talking to them about it has changed the way I feel about it, and has given me the strength to make this video. I just had like a 2-hour conversation about 2 hours ago with my mum. I bawled my eyes out throughout the entire thing because we were talking about how I was going to make this video and how I was going to, you know, combat it and overcome it. And yeah, sorry, I'm looking at the timer on how long this video is, and I've just waffled on for 25 minutes about, I don't even know. I had a list of what I was going to talk to about, and I've not stuck to that list at all because of reasons. So if you see someone you're out and about that has a twitch, don't be a dick about it. Don't go up to them and actively ask them why they do it. Don't say they're being annoying. Don't, like, most people wouldn't even do that anyway, but like, if you're with a group of friends and your friends think it's funny to take the piss out of someone that has a twitch, don't be part of that. You're better than that. Don't do it. Don't point and stare at people. Don't imitate them. Imitating them, as I said before, is probably the worst thing that someone with Tourette's or tics or nervous twitch can possibly see. It's hard for us to go outside as it is and be in social situations and be in the public and not feel like every single minute of the day we're being stared at. When we are stared at, it makes us worse, and that's not great. Just, you know, just don't do it. By all means, I don't mean don't come up to me and ask me about it. Like, now that this video is out there, if any one of you has any questions about it, please talk to me about them. So message me, you know, message me on this post. Like, you can message me privately if you want to, but I don't really care anymore. Like, message me on this post. This Tourette's, tics, nervous twitch, it's not something that we should, you know, it's not something that's taboo, and it shouldn't be. We should be able to openly talk about it, just out in the open. So yeah, you can message me privately if you feel uncomfortable about talking about it, but message me on this post. Message me right down there if you want to know anything about it, because I want to be able to tell you in front of everyone else, to make sure that everyone else knows that I don't care about talking about it anymore. Because I'm 21 now. I don't want to live my entire life being afraid of someone coming up to me and talking to me about it. I don't want to live my entire life trying to edge away from conversations that get a bit too emotional or a bit too into like mental health, that kind of thing, because I know that that's very close. If talking about, you know, emotional stuff and mental health and stuff is there, you know, talking about twitches and stuff like that is probably there. And I'd rather... I spent so long trying to veer away from talking about all these subjects because they were so close to talking about a twitch or Tourette's, that I veered away. Like, I would always veer away to something, you know, I'd try and make people laugh in a conversation. I'd talk to them about literally anything, instead of talking about anything that was very personal to anyone or something like that, because I knew that it was only a short bridge to talking about, you know, a twitch or whatever. But I don't want to do that anymore. Society today has got a lot better, finally, society has got a lot better about talking about mental health and talking about disabilities and talking about, you know, people that are different, you know. And I think this is one topic that hasn't quite caught up. I don't think it's quite caught up at all. And I think that me being the age that I am, and me having a voice, and for anyone who knows me, you know that I love to use my voice. I'm very loud, I'm very obnoxious, and I love to talk all the time about complete rubbish. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna take that skill I've like mastered over the years and put it into something a little bit more useful, you know? So yeah, sorry about this video being a rambling mess. This is the first time I've actively talked about this in 21 years, so I'm not going to be an expert on it. I might make some more videos about this, depending on, you know, the feedback I get. I hope I get nice feedback. I don't think I'm friends with anyone on here that would actively be, you know, stupid about it. But hey, there's people in the world that do that, so yeah. So if you have any questions, or if you want to learn a bit more about it, or if you have any advice for me, you know, advice would be great right now, because up until now I've felt very alone in this. Today was the first day that I have requested to join a group, a Nervous Twitch and Tourette's action group. I've requested to join it today, first time ever. I've been too scared to do it before. So if you have any advice for me, that would be lovely. Please tell me how to deal with this in a better way. I'm going to go and book a doctor's appointment. I've decided I'm going to go and book a doctor's appointment and try and sort this out, see if I can get some help on it. So yeah, thank you for watching this. If you have stuck around for 30 minutes and 55 seconds, you have a lot of tolerance. I don't have that big of an attention span, and whoever has made it to the end of this video, thank you. Thank you a lot. I love you guys. And yeah, I will see you later. Bye.